And then we'll do that. Where's the work in the charts? You got your charts. Where's the one? All right, where's the 135? On the back side of this.
Oh, I was supposed to do that.
Oh, no, you're supposed to do the back side of that.
First one we got this
No, that's the one you got. Okay.
I'll do it.
All right, you get a one-time late grade 75. You can choose to turn it in. You got a 30. Of course, you got to turn. You can turn it in a late grade. It'll be a regular grade as soon as I get it small. All right, what you got? I shall. Agree? Good. Did you try it at all?
I didn't know how to do it.
At least draw the table and try it or set it up instead of leave it blank. For future reference. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what you got? 1, 2, 3. Good. 10. So you got 100. What is these? That'd be the work that goes with 1 through 7 questions.
Like that?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You did one of them. I assume that's what that is the first one. That's the opening. Okay, excuse me, you get a 30. Let me change that. Did you even get the worksheet yet?
Yes.
You just didn't do any of them.
I didn't know, like, I looked at it right last night. And I was
Yeah.
like, this seems like something I'm supposed to do, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you just decided to say, never mind, I'm not doing it?
I mean, I was gonna ask a question, like, when I got here, I was gonna be like, hey, like, are we supposed to just keep this and do that tomorrow, or like, what's this?
Okay,
But so if you could, like, give me a chance to do it.
okay, this is a one-time only, in an honors class. I give you one opportunity to change your low grade to a 75 for homework. You can change that one if you'd like.
But I'm just not a little bit.
A 90 is not, because you only get up to a 75, so I'd keep my 90 if I were you. In the grand scheme of things, Ivy, it's not going to change your average at the end of the quarter at all, so I wouldn't sweat this. Positive. By the time we get done, there will be so many of those that will not affect your average at all, okay?
Like quizzes.
By the time we get done, by the time we get to the end, quizzes won't shift your average at all either. Right now, there's so few, they make a difference, but by the end, won't do a lot there either.
So, would that 90 bring more like that?
Right now, it may shift it a tad, but by the end, it won't do anything.
Or bring it up?
I don't know, it depends on your average. Probably at the moment, it'll bring it down slightly. But you're probably gonna get 100 on your openings today, which will bring it back up. So stop fretting. All right, so if we look at question number 1, all right, you're asked to find how many moles, and you've got atoms of silver. So when you draw your T-chart, what are we putting on the top line?
3.65 times 10 to the
Okay, this root. Don't do this to me. Okay, there it is. It's back. Thank goodness. All right, 3.65 times 10 to the 24th atoms. Now, when we were here yesterday for Alexis, it was not. Okay, maybe the computer needs to get restarted. This thing seems to be sluggish. Grams to moles to atoms is the order in which we can convert. Okay, so if we start in atoms, we can only go to moles. For moles, we can only go to grams. Now, if we start in moles, we can go to grams, or we can go to atoms. If we start in grams, we can only go to atoms. The two conversion factors we learned are 1 mole equals 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. And that has a name. What was the name of it? Do we remember the name? Did I tell you the name?
No.
Did I tell you the name?
No.
Oh.
And you and stuff?
I must not have told
You
you.
just
All
said
right.
they were two conversions.
Yeah.
This is called Avogadro's. Okay. It's called Avogadro's number. It's named after an Italian scientist who created it, Amadeus Avogadro. So if you don't want to say the number out and you just want to use the name, it's called Avogadro's number. Okay? And the other conversion factor we learned is called 1 mole equals the atomic mass in grams. That one really doesn't have a name though. All right, but that is called Avogadro's number if you don't want to yell 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. All right, everybody good on what we did yesterday? Now, if we fill in our chart, what has to go on the bottom line of the chart? Atoms, so it will cancel out. Atoms, if we're starting in the flow chart, atoms has to go to what? Moles. Now, if we look at the question said how many moles? So we've got moles on the top line. Is this going to be a chart that needs 3 sections? No, because the question asked for moles. We've got moles in the chart. We do not need to go 3 sections of this particular table. So all we need to do are fill in the numbers. So if we look at our 2 conversion factors, do we need the one at the top, this one, or do we need the one at the bottom? The top. So what number's in front of moles? And what's in front of atoms?
Avogadro's, whatever.
Avogadro's. Okay, so moles gets 1, and atoms gets Avogadro's number, which is 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. Now, when we punch that in the calculator, we talked about yesterday using our significant digits. So 3.65 second EE, 24 divides 6.022 second EE 23, and I get 6.06. We only need 3 significant digits, so 6.06 moles. How do we feel about that one? Good? All right. Number 2. You have 15.42 grams. What are we putting on the bottom line of our chart? Grams. Now, in the flow chart again for Alexis, since he wasn't here, we start in grams. We're going to what next? Moles. All right. Oops, wrong way. So we're putting moles on the top line. Again, looking at the question, what is the question asking us to find?
Moles.
It's asking us to find moles. And that's what we have on the top line of our chart. So is this one going to be one that needs 3 steps? No, still only going to need 2. So when we look at our 2 conversion factors that we wrote down, do we need the top one or the bottom one? We need the bottom. So what's in front of moles? And what's in front of grams? So we're going to put the 1 in front of the moles, like you said. And then we need atomic mass. So we need to know the element. What element did I give you in the question?
Nickel.
So when you look at the atomic mass on your periodic table, what's nickel's atomic mass? Now, the reason that we said that we always use the significant digits in the question is largely because of questions like this. Some of you probably wrote all of those numbers down that you yelled out. Some of you might have written 58.6, which is what I have in most of my answer keys. I usually only have 1 place behind the decimal. Some of you might have even rounded that to 59, okay? Because lots of people round differently there. We use the significant digits that are in the question. So we have 4, so we only want 4 in our answer. So 15.42 divide 58.69, and I get 0.2627 moles. Okay? Questions about how to do that one? All right. The last question is an average mass question. So to find average mass, we learned a formula yesterday that had plus and dot, dot, dots at the end of it. And how many isotopes do I have in this question? So I need 2 sets of parentheses. So my first isotope has a mass of what?
56.98.
All right, times its percent abundance on the planet is All right, and then my second isotope has a mass of,
61.58.
and then times its percent abundance on the planet, which is, exactly. Now, all we have left to do then is to calculate. So 56.98. Is 58.44. And you divide by 100, yes. Now, when you finish with that, what units did we say we would put on a mast? AMU. And if you didn't want to write AMU, we said you could abbreviate that and make it a what? Just a U if you preferred to put U. Either one was fine. Questions about anything in the oven? We feel pretty comfortable with that? All right, let's talk homework. What?
The 58.44, right?
Yeah, that's what I got.
Before or after the line?
And that was after dividing by 100. Did you punch it in wrong?
Probably.
Okay, punch it in again. And then if you don't get it, let me know. Usually the mistakes with these are calculator errors more than anything else.
That's why.
I got it.
Say what? Oh, yeah. Thank you. I forgot third period yesterday too, and today I made myself remember first period, and I'm about to forget again. Now, before you hand me those, because yesterday I gave instructions at third period, and it worked out really well for some people and not so well for others, and it was really hard to grade in third period. First period did a great job. If you will, A, put your name on the first page. Don't put your name on like page 2 or page 3, so I have to hunt for your name. Secondly, make sure your openings are clearly marked, okay? Either opening 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by dates. You can draw a line between them for all I care. Some people highlight them. I don't care as long as I can tell which opening is which. I had 2 people who didn't do anything, and I had to look for the number 1 on each question to try to figure out where a new opening starts, okay? That's a little challenging, particularly when they're intermingled with their notes and I'm hunting for openings. So that I don't miscount or claim you didn't do an opening, just label them for me, okay? That's all I need. And then staple them and put them on the laptop over there on my desk. Yes, ma'am.
So I ran out of room for number 3.
Yeah.
I drew an arrow that I put right here.
That's fine.
Something was.
That's fine. As long as it's clearly labeled, I will not have trouble finding it.
And the dates.
Okay. Doesn't even have to be in order and I'll be fine. It's just about being able to actually. Yep, on the computer is fine. It's just about being able to find them. You know, but when people just don't label anything and I have to find number 1 for the start of the next opening, it's hard.
So if you just like forward, I'll just try to draw one page.
It's okay. It's okay.
No, it's not. It's in the 78.
Did you get it when you recalculated it, Cameron?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Put it on my laptop.
I
Yep.
don't know what happened. It looked the exact same the first time I typed.
Okay.
Did you?
My name is on both of them.
Yes, all the way through today. So yes, I need today's opening too. I can't complain. It's been pretty good so far. Yes, not a tremendous amount, but yes, we are. Gonna learn how to name some compounds before the end of class. Go practice a little bit here in a minute. Because we're gonna have a quiz on this stuff tomorrow. All right, So if we look at our homework, those of us who actually did our homework, I see that phone again and it's mine to the bell. I get that a lot. I'm fairly certain that they teach analog time in elementary school. And as sharp as you are, I am pretty sure that you can read that clock up there on the wall. Now, I could be wrong. I have taught some students who are incredibly slow. But based on your test score on Monday, you are not in that category. So I am pretty sure you can read that clock without having to pull out and look at a digital phone. Okay? Just saying. Now, number 1B, you should have an answer in the ballpark of 27 grams. Now, depending on how you rounded your answer, you might have 26.9, you might have 27.0, 26.8, but you 26.98. Now, how many significant digits did you have in your starting data? Maybe my answer key has the wrong number of significant digits. How many did it have, Eiley? That's what I'm asking, because looking at what I have in my answer key, it should not have that many significant digits. You had a starting number in 1B of 1.00. How many significant digits is that? 3. So if your answer is 26.98 tomorrow, there you go. Because I'd take off -1 significant digits out to the side tomorrow on your quiz. Okay, so don't lose points for that. Number 2, somewhere around 29.5 grams. Now, does it have to be exactly 29.5? No, but it needs 3 significant digits. 3B, around 0.5 moles. Again, you need 3 significant digits. So if you have exactly 0.5, put 2 zeros behind it. Number 4, somewhere around 0.5. You need 4 significant digits. Number 5, somewhere around 4.0 times 10 to the 24th. You need 4 significant digits. So 4.0 something something times 10 to the 24th atoms. 6B, somewhere around 6 grams. I have 6.05 grams. And 7B, 1.5 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. You need 3 significant digits. Questions? Anybody need me to do any of those? Particularly ones that might have 3 steps in the chart, which would be like 6 and 7. Which ones? Both? Some? Both? Okay. So in number 6, we have, first of all, if it ever says just mass, on these particular questions, it says, what is the mass in grams? But if it doesn't say mass in grams, it just says mass. Mass always means what? Are you going to drink your water or just choke to death?
I just drank it. You did not see me.
Okay, so you're choking on your water.
No.
Okay. Did you have a cough drop? Okay. I just don't want you to die over there. You know, I have no first aid skills. Any of y'all have first aid skills? You took what?
I did that thing in gym. It's close enough.
I'm worried if that's all they've got, Eiley. So, you know, we don't want to have to drag you by your feet to the front office. So maybe you should drink a little more water. I know you just had some, but try a little more and see if it'll soothe your throat a little bit. All right. So at number 6, so if it says what is the mass in grams, it's asking for mass, even if it doesn't say grams. So we have 1.50 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. All right. So if we have atoms on the top line, what has to go on the bottom? I realize there's only 7 of us, and y'all are normally very quiet. Atoms. Okay. So if atoms is on the bottom line, according to our flow chart, what has to go next? We have to go from atoms to what? Moles. So we're going to put moles on the top line. Now, did the question ask us for moles? No. So we can't stop there. Okay? If it wanted moles like in the opening, we'd be finished. But it doesn't want moles, it wants grams. So this is what I was talking about at the end of class yesterday. You draw another section. These charts are going to grow into 4 and 5 section charts by the end of the semester, okay? So if we need another section, we just draw another line down. If we need another section, I draw another line down. So because I don't want moles, where am I going to put moles in the chart? On the bottom, so it'll cancel. So if I go back, I'm in moles. What do I go to now?
Grams.
I go to grams. Now, because I have all of the units in here, all I have to do are fill the numbers in the right way. This one is my mole to gram conversion factor, right? So which one has my moles and grams? Which one did I was talking moles to atoms, wasn't I? I said it wrong. Moles to atoms is what I'm doing first. Okay? So, whoops. I'm getting crazy with my fingers here. Moles to atoms. So moles gets what? A 1. And atoms has what number? Now, you guys are pretty smart. Have you figured out yet what number is always next to moles?
Yes.
Now, moles are going to stay 1s until we learn to balance equations. We are probably a week and a couple days away from balancing equations. Once we learn how to balance and write equations, then moles are going to begin to change, and moles won't always get a 1. But we're a few weeks away from that, okay? So right now, until we've learned to do that, when you're filling in a chart, moles are going to get what numbers? 1s, okay? Now, every time you fill in atoms, atom is going to have what number beside it? It's going to have Avogadro's number. It's not going to change. Now, anybody not know Avogadro's number yet? That's that number. If you don't know it and you have a senior moment and forget it, is there any place we might find it?
Your notes.
Yes, but you can't use your notes on the test. Where?
Blue sheet.
The blue sheet is the very first thing on the first page. It's the top section of the chart. It's the very first line in the chart on the blue sheet. So if you look it up, it'll be there. If you have a senior moment and forget it, you can look it up. Okay? Now, every time you have gram in the chart, it's going to always have what? Atomic mass. Where do we always find atomic mass?
This thing right here.
The periodic table. Okay? So all you have to know to find atomic mass is the element. So what element did they give us in 6B? Magnesium. So look at magnesium's mass, and what is it?
24.3.
So then we write 24.3. Now, once you guys get proficient at finding the elements, and I know that everybody's finding the atomic mass without making mistakes and confusing atomic number, I will tell you what those are to move things along so that we don't have to hunt for them all day, but I'm not going to do that right now. Okay? No, I do not know every element or number on the periodic table before you ask me that. I don't memorize that crap either.
Do you know almost all?
I know probably 70%. All right, so I got 6.05. Now, for Alexis, who is not here, you can choose, Alexis, in this chart to either multiply across there and then divide what's here, if that makes you happy, or you can choose to divide here first and then multiply by that. You can do it whichever way makes you the happiest, okay? I tend to multiply the two numbers on the top and then divide by the number on the bottom. But if that doesn't make you happy and you want to divide first and then multiply by what's there, that works too. Okay? It's your choice. All right? And number 7. What'd they give us in number 7? They gave us 8.02 grams of sulfur. All right? So if I have 8.02, let me fix that. 2 grams of sulfur, what goes on the bottom line? Grams. All right, from a gram, what's the only thing a gram can go to? A mole. Now, given moles is always a 1. Should we skip moles? No, because this mole's going to stay a 1. No, so if you get used to skipping moles, when moles is not a 1, you're going to be so used to skipping moles, are you going to have a place to put those 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers? No, so don't get in the habit of skipping moles. What goes on the bottom? Moles. And then, from a mole, you can go to a what? An atom. All right, so again, what number did we just say always goes beside moles? 1s. What number have we just said always goes beside Adam? It's not avocado. Avocados are fruit. All right, and beside grams, you're talking mass. Well, I gave you sulfur, so what number goes beside sulfur? 32.0. Okay? So this time we have three significant digits again. So 1.50 times 10 to the 23rd. Now, the only other thing I want to specify about the homework is look at question 3 and 4. And look at the word. It says, how many moles of atoms? Are they asking for moles or are they asking for atoms when they say how many moles of atoms? They're asking for moles.
I was confusing.
Okay, a lot of people get confused by that, so I wanted to point that
I
out.
like the way you were.
Oh, okay. All right, let's do some more practice with this and then we'll move on. So, let's do 2C, 4C, 5C, 6C, and 7C. Now, when you finish, so that you're not sitting around, yeah, by all means. The answers are right here. All right, so come check yourself. Let's see if you got them right. And if anybody has a question,
What?
2C. Oh, I said it, but I didn't write it. 2C, 4C, 5C, 6C, and 7C. And when you finish, check your answers. When I count 9.
Oh, you remember I wasn't here when it was.
Yep, you got 90. Now, anytime you're absent, the options are at the back. You can always make them up so you don't take late or miss one. Count 9 for you too, Cameron.
What?
And I count 9 for you too. Is that what I'm supposed to have?
Oh, yeah, no, there was Fridays I missed. I didn't make up.
You missed one?
Yeah.
Okay. Alexis, come get a piece of paper so you got the problems to work back. Pick your head up, get a note from somebody or do something useful.
You can read a piece of paper?
So what?
Can you give me one of them worksheets?
I got one right here in my hand. That's why I said come get one. And you can't write I was absent. The openings are back there in the notebook. It says openings. Now, if you would like to go do the opening for 912, which is back there, and find the page that says 912 and do it, I will rewrite that. If you go to the first section, it says chemistry, flip to the end of the section and they'll have today's, and then go back one page and you ought to be on yesterday's. Probably the easiest way to find it. But it'll have yesterday's date on it. Anybody have a question for me? Anybody? Adam? everything? You feel good?
Yeah, I'm already.
You're all right. How about you, Cameron?
I haven't even started, but I got this.
Okay. I'm just checking after, last night whether you didn't know if you were supposed to do it. I didn't know if it was an issue with, didn't know how or just didn't want to do it.
No, I'm sick. Well, not sick. I'm getting over it. How about my case? Leave it alone.
So anytime you see atoms, it's always going to be 6.022
Yep. Exactly.
and then grams, so it's
Mm-hmm. Y'all have questions, just chat. It's okay if you do. I'm just asking And if I ain't useful,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a question.
Okay.
When first people talk loud enough I can hear them, they just yell questions.
I don't know if I did it. No.
Okay, so you got Adams to Graham, yeah. Oh, we'll try.
Oh, okay.
I think so. That seems to be an answer I remember from first period, anyways. Did he have the same number?
Yeah.
Okay. It's okay to talk. Y'all must not have Daniela or Tyshawn or anybody in class.
I do,
Are they class in your other classes?
yeah.
Really?
Knock, knock.
It's because
Come on in.
I know I'm busting in,
It's
so
okay.
we
What's
can
up?
come back later. Would you like, I have a student who needs something to do. Would you like her to wash glass? She did it last year, so she knows.
Yeah, that'd be great.
There's something back there.
Yeah.
She said she did it last
Yeah,
year.
you wanna do You want to do it here or back there? Okay. Let me see if Ms. Thornhill minds if you do it in her room. That way you got a little more space to work with.
Yeah.
Ms. Thornhill, around?
Yes. I think she's not in the room right now, but she does have planning right now.
maybe I just.
She
All right, let me get a box top so we can put stuff in. It was all my to-do list, Ms. Honeycutt. If you look at number 4, it says email about glassware. Yeah, I got it. All right, let me get scissors. Do I have a question one right in here, or you're good? Okay, well, I get her started.
Maybe I just.
Hey, Francesca, come get an apron in that. Come get an apron. You remember where they're at? There in that cabinet. That's that real tall cabinet back there with the solid wood door. That way, in case you like me, you splash like a duck, you don't get wet clothes. And you see that pink towel at the very top? Grab that too so you can set the glassware on that. That way we don't have to use a ton of paper towels, so lay the glassware out.
You should just check when you're done on that purple there.
Yep, exactly.
People are gonna see that and hear it. Darn.
Oh, wait, never mind.
I messed up.
I did it right. She has been more set to go. That's John.
Make sure I got it right though.
Yeah.
Yeah, push it.
Right back. Francesca squared away.
In this camera. Let's see.
You too?
Maybe they just saw it. I brought back to you.
Oh, I did have the fruit.
Yeah, it's like pretty straight, but it hasn't marked out and stuff.
Very good.
Was the answers right there?
Yeah.
It's much harder to.
Oh. Yeah, it's a camera.
This one was trying to look at the.
This is live?
Yeah.
Oh my god, it is, bro. Oh. I was in the wait for like 5 seconds. See it.
It's super versus.
That is true. All right, so who's got a question? All right, that's one. All right, so you've got NC, moles, put moles on the line. What's going on the top line? No, what's on the top line?
Oh, no.
So moles that's on the bottom line. All right, so what are you going to on the top line? So you're in moles, you can go either direction. You can either go to moles or you can go to grams, whichever one. Okay? What does the question ask you for? Then you will go to apples.
You didn't have to see.
Yes, exactly.
All right, I'm good.
Okay. Anybody else have a question?
Nope.
Nope.
What's the
You got them all right when you checked them? Good.
what's the thing called for yesterday? YouTube video.
Just put in the date. So type in September 12th, 2017, chemistry, and it should come up. And I think I recorded y'all's class, so probably type in that and put fourth period, because first period smartboard wouldn't work, and so I had to have them come fix the fourth period and put them right on. So I'm pretty sure I recorded your class, so it's fine. Today I have both of them recorded.
It's even much harder doing classes.
That's because we didn't have a lot of time to practice it in class. We'd had more time to practice, and we weren't so rushed, it would have been easier. It's a lot.
Do you rewatch the videos?
Yeah, I started editing them last year, and I was gonna make a library of lessons without all the other stuff. And I did about 6 or 7 of them, and I'm like, this takes forever. And then I just quit. I was going to be like Mr. Relas and have little small YouTube videos of topics, but I just quit. I keep thinking I'm going to get back to it and continue it, but
You should, do some easy.
just haven't. It's a lot of work. I'm just lazy that way. In my free time, I don't enjoy editing videos. I thought I'd do it over the summer and then it didn't happen.
You should edit the first one.
In first period, I'd spend a lot of time editing.
Oh, that's what it is.
One through 7B only. They're under the problems. Okay, so 1 through 7B only. And you know the chart that we had to do over the weekend or Monday night that had atomic number, atomic mass on the back side, there are 5 questions. You got to do 1 through 5.
Oh.
Tell me what homework questions you have to do that I checked.
1 through 7B.
And then the 3 that you had to do on the other sheet. So 1 through 7 on that one. And then, yep, 1 through 7 will be over, yep. And then the one from Monday night, yeah. Those 3. Yeah, 1 3 to 5. Okay, go back to the test. You pick one up after the test? On Monday?
Oh, did you finish this?
Yeah. Your opening grade and your home grade are in there. There, the back side. Yeah, 1 3 and 5. And then divide over to the bottom. All right, hold on. What is this? Is that grams or atoms? Just to make sure the numbers are right. 6C. Those, that's what I'm checking. Yes, those are atoms. Okay, that's why I yell at you guys all the time. See, you wrote the number down, and you didn't write atoms there. So your atoms are over here. You got atoms and grams there. Put your units there, so you know the atoms go down there. As you switch your numbers in your chart, let read that. No, you got it back. Yeah, you gotta switch those two. No, Brad, retime. Your kid's gonna hurt my.
Like, I typed in one.
So if you moved here last year, where'd you move here from?
Alaska.
Alaska? What
Yeah.
brought you here from Alaska? I was thinking of Greensboro, Alaska.
And how do you get Alaska to Lexington? I've lived here, I've moved up.
So what took you to Alaska then?
My dad.
Oh, okay. And what? Okay. So did you like Alaska while you were there? No? Okay.
I mean, it's fun, but not, it's a lot of,
I would like to go visit.
the northern lights are really pretty, though. That's like one thing I'll have to say.
I would like to go visit to see that, to see some of the countryside and that kind of stuff, but I don't think I'd want to live there year round.
The highways, especially snow seasons, people hit.
Yes, lots.
So, and it was like a 20-minute drive from my school to, I mean, my house to school because my dad worked at that school, so I went to the school to work at. And there was this one morning when, and I was 2 hours late to school.
So when they hit the moose, it pretty much shut down the highway,
They didn't shut it down, like, you know.
but it caused enough of a backup.
Yeah.
All right, is everyone done other than Angela who's working the last question right now?
Yes.
Okay, Alexis, did you do any of them?
No, I will.
Okay, so you're gonna watch the video. It don't make any difference to me. You don't have to do any of them. I'm just asking you if you're good to go. I mean, we have a quiz on it tomorrow, so if you're not caught up tomorrow, you need to add that to your makeup work that you need to do.
Yeah, I'll do
Now, here you go, filling in the chart again,
it. Yeah.
backwards. Put your given data on the top line. So what's your given data? It goes at the front of the chart. All right, grams goes where now? On the bottom, that's right. All right, no, not the 150, just the grams. We'll put numbers in last. All right, grams goes to what then? Grams always converts to what? What? Moles, good. Yes. And then what's going to go on the bottom? You start units. You only have to talk numbers. Yes. And then what will we put on the top? Don't work, talk about numbers, what unit? Yes. Okay. Now we can talk numbers. Now we put all the units in. Okay, so what goes beside the moles? Good. What goes beside atoms? Avogadro. Yes. And what goes beside radius?
Yeah.
Where do you find something?
That's what I did first.
That's right. So we got to know the elements you've got.
Did she get her?
What element you look for? Now you got to see how I don't have units first. Do you go back into the numbers?
That's what I did.
All right, we're going to move on now that I got Agilent caught up. So, if you will, find your notes. We're done with the calculators. If you want to go put your calculators away. Now, what genius move that? All right.
Oh, thanks, Mom.
All right, looks like I got them all. All right, so we're going to spend our remaining half an hour talking about nomenclature. Now, tomorrow's quiz is on mole conversions and on average atomic mass. If you can do last night's homework and you can do what we just practiced, I should grade a whole bunch of A quiz papers tomorrow. Okay? Now, nomenclature, Nomenclature. It's Latin. Now, nomenclature. Hey, Francesca, flip those over so the red bottoms are on the bottom. Even though it won't dry as well, it's okay. They're less likely to fall over. Nomenclature just means system of naming. Okay? So, nomenclature is not just something you would use in a chemistry class. You can use nomenclature in any discipline that you may study. Okay? It's not just for a chemistry class. You can have nomenclature in biology. You can have it in a nursing program. You can have it in any type of discipline. We're going to talk about nomenclature here in chemistry, though. Now, we're going to use the IUPAC system. Now, you are probably going to read in your final exam test question the IUPAC system. Now, it means the International Union of pure and applied chemistry. For all practical purposes, you don't need to know that. But on exam day, some of y'all are going to be like, oh my God, what does that mean in the middle of the test? What are they asking me to do? That is the system of naming that we're going to use all semester long. So when you read this in the test question on exam day and it says name this using the IUPAC convention, the IUPAC convention is the convention that I've taught you that we're using all semester. So don't let that throw you off and think, oh my God, they're asking me to do something as well I hadn't taught me, okay? Now, in the IUPAC system, there are two systems that you guys have to learn to use, okay? That's where we differentiate a little bit. The two systems that you're going to be asked to use, number one, is called the stock system, which is where we will spend most of our time. And so that you have an idea of what it is, it's the system with the Roman numbers, or the Roman numerals, okay? So whenever we're using the system that has the Roman numerals, that's called the stock system. The one that you are probably a little more familiar with is the old system, which is the one that has the prefixes. So those of you who've been talking about carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, that's old system name. And you're going to have to be able to name that way also. We use the stock system more prevalently in chemistry now than we use old system. We still use old system a lot in biology class. Chemistry a lot less so. Okay? But we're going to learn to use both. Now, in order to be able to use both, we have to be able to talk about the two types of compounds in chemistry class. Okay? This is where first period went off the rails today. Class deteriorated rapidly because I assumed that y'all would know some stuff. And then it turned into a fit of giggles because I think they were raised in Siberia based on what they know. All right? So, I have confidence. We're a small crowd of only 7. But I have confidence that y'all know some stuff. Y'all were not raised in Siberia. Somewhere, even here at the high school, somebody has taught you something about some compounds and the types. All right, so I know y'all write faster, so everybody's with me. Now, when we talk about the two systems, in order to name, we have to know the two types of compounds because stock system can be done with either type. But old system can only be done with one type. Okay? And we'll get into that later this week. So, somewhere in your science background, you should have learned about the two types of compounds. Does anybody have any idea what I'm talking about? Huh? Solubles? No. What'd you say?
Mixture.
No. Although that's a lot closer than some other stuff I heard first period. I got inorganic and organic, which wasn't terrible, but I got a whole bunch of biology words. I even got photosynthesis. I know. What? What'd you say?
I'm just thinking.
What'd you say?
I said compounds.
Okay. At least it's a chemistry word. What?
I know what it is, but it's not no name.
Okay.
If I'm correct, there's one where you can distinctly take out what's mixed together, and then the other one, no.
No.
I know.
All right, they thought we started with some hangman going on first period. Okay, one starts with an I, one starts with a C. No on the independent. We were going to have to use the periodic table to figure them out. But one starts with the word ion.
Ionic compound.
All right, we'll go with ionic. All right, see if you can give me the other word. See, I told y'all you weren't raised in Siberia. Ionic is 1. And the opposite of ionic would be? No.
What's the next letter?
So now we got the hangman thing. Huh?
Say codependent.
No. I got that one first period too. When I got the COs.
Covenant.
Conversion.
All right, I'm beginning to think maybe y'all were raised in Siberia.
Come on.
Covalent. Have y'all heard the words ionic and covalent before?
Yes.
Okay, I have several people who said no, I've never heard that. All right, ionic and covalent. You should have heard somewhere before you got to me. These should not be new words. I'm appalled that they're new words. Now, ionic and covalent bonds are two things we're going to talk about this semester. All right, now we will talk more about their electrons and how their electrons are different and what happens to their electrons ad nauseum down the road. You'll know more about their electrons than you ever wanted to know in several weeks. But for today, we only need to know about how to recognize the difference between ionic and covalent. Now, I feel certain we know these. On the periodic table, I have some confidence in this because first period knew this, so I know we're good on this one. Do you know what that is? Thank God. Somebody actually asked me first period what I drew. Now, I realize I'm not an art teacher, but, you know, I've drawn enough of those over the years that that should be pretty obvious. Now, tell me what the 3 types of elements on the periodic table are. Metalloids. You got the hardest one. Metalloids. Metals. Metalloids. Metals.
Gas.
Everybody gives me gas. No. Metals. Metalloids. There you go. Gases are all non-metals. Okay? Now, who is on the staircase? Which one of those is on the stairs?
Non-metal.
Okay. See the green over there?
Yeah.
That's the staircase. Those are the metalloids. Okay? You need to write this. The metalloids are on the stairs. Okay? The metalloids are on the stairs. That's the halfway point to deciding who's a metal and who's a non-metal. Because that's how we're going to determine if we're ionic or if we're covalent. Now, what side are the non-metals on?
Right.
Very good. It was a 50-50 shot. Did you know or did you guess?
I knew.
Very good.
I knew that. I just knew.
That is a very good answer.
Because I knew the sulfur was on that side.
Very good. That's a fabulous answer. All right, so the non-metals are on the right side of the periodic table. Okay? The non-metals are on the right of that staircase. Okay? So that means the metals have to be where? Have to be on the left of the staircase. So the metals are on the left of the staircase. So the periodic table is divided up based on the staircase. Metals are on the left of the staircase. Non-metals are on the right of the staircase. Now, there's one element that does not follow that rule. Who is that one element that does not follow the rule? Who? What kind of element is it since it's in the wrong spot? It's what? It's a non-metal. All right, so hydrogen, even though it's over here, right there, hydrogen is a non-metal. Okay? It's the only one that doesn't fit the rule. Stairs, metals on the left, non-metals on the right. Hydrogen is over here on the left. with the metals. We'll talk about why when we talk about electrons and the placement of things down the road. Now, how are we going to decide whether you're ionic or covalent? If you are ionic, everything that is ionic is any combination of a metal and a non-metal. Okay? Anything that is a metal and a non-metal is ionic. So it could be one metal and one non-metal, or it could have two of each. Now, to be covalent, covalent is all non-metals. Okay? Anything that's covalent is all non-metals. Everybody with me? Yes? I don't hear your nose out there. All right. So I want you very quickly to run through these. Not yet. I wish it was myself. Tell me those bond types of those five. Very quick. Tell me the bond type of those five.
Sorry, the bond type.
Talking about what that's for a minute. I'm just handing it out while you're finding bond types.
What is this type of paper called?
Cardstock. All right. You got it, or I still need to wait? Okay. All right, so what do you think about CO2? What'd you come up with? Okay, because C is a what? Yeah, yes, it is carbon. It's a what? It's a non-metal. O is a non-metal, so that's how Cameron said it was covalent. Everybody good on that? All right, so K would be what kind of element? It's a metal. Cl is a, and so that would be what? Ionic. All right. H is a what? I gave you this one because sometimes it throws people off. It's a non-metal. And then Br is where? It's over here on the far right in the yellow. So if it's on the far right in the yellow, it's a what? It's a non-metal, so it is covalent. Okay, and a lot of times people will look up on the periodic table and they'll see H is over there on the left and Br is over here on the right, and they'll see it's a what? They'll look and say it's ionic very quickly. But remember, H is a non-metal and Br is a non-metal, so that's covalent. All right, Na2SO4. Na is a what? Metal. S is a, and O is a. So that makes it. So this is the only one I have up here that has multiple elements. And even though it has multiple elements, you have metals and non-metals, so that makes it, what you got for me, my dear? Can I get it to them, Mark? They're both on the field trip.
That'd be perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, and the last one, Cl2. This time I put one together that only has chlorine. But what this means is you have two chlorines that are side by side. So if they're both chlorines, you have two what? Two nonmetals. So that's a nonmetal and a nonmetal. So what kind of bond is it? Covalent. So I tried to give you a couple things that sometimes trip people up. Okay? So do you see the obstacles that might throw people off?
Yes.
Okay. Everybody okay with that? Now, the cards I just handed you, because we're going to start learning how to write names of formulas. We are only going to do ionic starting tomorrow. We'll save covalent for a couple days from now. Now, before we can do this, we need to talk about what's on those cards. We need to talk about monoatomic ions and polyatomic ions. And then we're ready to start writing a couple things. Now, a monoatomic ion is a single atom with a charge. These examples would be things like Na+1, O -2, Al with a +3. We're going to use those a lot. Every single compound we will write, with very few exceptions, will have a monoatomic ion. There are a couple we will write that will have none. With very few exceptions, we will have those. Now, after we master monoatomic ions early in class tomorrow, late in class tomorrow, and early in class Friday, we're going to branch out into polyatomic ions. Polyatomic ions are, let's just say, two or more atoms with a common charge. Examples of this you might see: SO4 with a -2, NO3 with a -1, NH4 with a +1. Now, those would be sulfate ion, nitrate ion, and ammonium ion. You're fine, Brett. Now, I rattled those off pretty easily, didn't I? I've done this a long time. Some teachers will make you memorize all of those ions before you do any naming. I'm not of that school of thought, okay? So I teach this differently than almost every county teacher, all right? They teach how to use the periodic table and find all of this stuff before they teach naming. I do it exactly opposite of every chemistry teacher I know, except maybe 2 people in the state. I am providing you with all of the oxidation numbers on that blue chart. So let me show you how it works. We are going to use the numbers, and then I'm going to teach you how to find them after we know how to use them. So if you look at the top, first of all, it says you may only have this until day 60. We're on day 12 today. So by day 60, you have to know how to find these a different way other than looking them up on this blue chart, which you will know how to do. If you can pass my class, you can find those things. So if I cover these first 3 columns, these are your monoatomic ions, okay? Name of the element, symbol of the element, oxidation numbers that we're going to use for the ion tomorrow, okay? Everybody with me? You turn it over, you still have monoatomic ions, symbols, oxidation numbers. Everybody with me in the top? Yes, this is yours to keep. You can put your name on it. Now, then I thought I was a genius, trying to save some space. So in the last 2 columns, I put the polyatomic ions. So I put them in alphabetical order. And then I realized, oh crap, I forgot about it. There was no way to go back and fix that without jacking up the other side. It's already in alphabetical order. So I just stuck some at the bottom and put those in. Is that Francesca? Thank you, man. You are the bomb. You want to just hang that back there, and you can leave the wet stuff back there. I'll collect it probably tomorrow. Tell Miss Honeycutt, thank you very much. All right, so there's some that are at the bottom. So if you have trouble finding those, check the bottom before you go, oh, Ms. Wall must not have put it on there. And then those are the polyatomic ion symbols there. Now, on the back side, you'll find some common acids. There's 4 of them you have to memorize. You need to highlight these, star them, something. You got to Monday to learn them. There are the bottom 4 in the table. So, hydrochloric acid, which is HCl. Mark them some kind of way because you need to know. Sulfuric acid, nitric acid, and phosphoric acid. And so I'm going to make Brandon my able-bodied assistant. On the quiz, or the test, you cannot use your oxidation sheet. You get my oxidation sheet. Brandon, if you look at the acids that are on the back of my sheet, are those 4 acids on the back of my sheet? Looks the same, except for what? Those acids. You see those acids there? You find hydrochloric acid? You find hydrochloric acid on there?
Yeah.
Wait, show it to me. Yeah, you can't use this one. This is the one you're getting on the test. Can you see it? Is it there? No. Those 4 acids are not on the one you get on the test. So, you got to learn them. Okay? They're missing. Now, if you don't know how to spell something, because we're going to change endings tomorrow. See where it says common spellings of binary ions? I'll put the spellings right here for you, because some of you are going to struggle with the spelling. So when we're doing this, and some of you are going to raise your hand and going to swallow, check out for spelling. If I put the spellings on the sheet, what do you think? Yes. Now, if you forget a vowel, or you accidentally leave a Y instead of an I, no. If you completely jack up the word, yes. Okay? The spellings of the elements and the ions are on the sheet. Okay? It's there for you. I'm giving it to you to use so that you can spell things correctly. So, obviously, I'm expecting you to spell things correctly. Okay? Now, given that we're missing 5 of our classmates, I'm not going to talk about how to write formulas today where they're going to miss out. Now, what is our homework tonight?
Study this. Study.
No.
Well, yes. No.
What is our homework tonight? What do you have tomorrow? A quiz. I'm not even going to assign any problems. However, if you feel that you need to do something to practice because you feel weak, do something off the worksheet. I'll have the book out. You can check if you need to tomorrow. If you don't need to, fabulous. Okay? Otherwise, study for the quiz. Those of you who've got everything caught up, marvelous. Those of you who said you wanted to turn in a late homework because you didn't like the grades you had, remember that's a one-time only deal. Once you get that 75 that one time, you cannot get it again. Okay? Yeah, no, just this quarter. I usually do it once a quarter for an honors class. Okay? Yeah, if you want to do something today, you can. Anybody?